edition of Around the Valley with Dave and Wanda, and we are here in Williamsport at the American Rescue Workers, and joining us here is Dawn. She is the business administrator and co-executive director. Dawn, thank you for allowing us to hang out.
Thank you. It's a privilege to have you.
Oh, we're so happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit, of course, your husband is the executive director and pastor here. Tell us how long you all have been involved with American Rescue Workers.
This is my 45th year
Wow.
of being with American Rescue Workers. I started fresh out of high school as a secretary to several directors ago.
Yeah.
And over the years, we've just kind of been moved around into the different spots as our organization grew and we expanded. We've done kind of one of everything. And now in our current role as business administrator and co-executive director. So our goal, Jesus said, a cup of cold water given in his name would have reward. But we kind of want to do more than that because folks need more than that. Jesus didn't mean that that was an insignificant gift. He meant that everything small has reward if you're doing it in his name. And we want to feed the hungry and we want to house the homeless because you have to provide for folks' basic needs of life before you can give them the gospel. Because first of all, they need food in their belly.
Yeah.
First of all, they need their basic needs of life taken care of, which is somewhere to lay their head at night instead of being out in the cold.
Well said.
So that's our goal.
James, it says true religion, of course, keep yourself undefiled from the world and reaching out to the widows and the orphans. So those people in need. The verse literally says what we're supposed to do is to help meet those needs.
Yeah, I love that. So I am so excited to see what this is all about. It's a huge building. I can tell there's a lot going on. So we're looking forward to seeing what you do here.
WGRC's Around the Valley is sponsored by Zook Septic Services, serving central Pennsylvania. Contact them for inspections, repairs, and system maintenance needs at 570-837-1466 or at zookseptic.com.
Our motto is repurposing clothing, shoes, and lives.
I saw that on some of the t-shirts.
I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's the goal. We do the first two so that we can do the last one.
Yeah.
Repurpose the clothing and the shoes. That saves millions of pounds of goods from going to the landfills every year. And by the resale or the salvage, like recycling, clothing, shoes, there's many other things too that we pull into that equation.
Yeah.
But by the resale and the retail value of those items that still have value, that gives us our operational funds for our different shelters and our hunger and homeless prevention programs. From home pickups, clothing bins, where folks put their donation of clothing into our bins and they sort them piece by piece. They have about a 3-4 second window of time to make a decision on a piece, whether it comes down the chute or whether it goes to a thrift store.
Yeah.
So these items right here normally would not be resellable on the thrift store market. They're either out of style, they're pilled, they're worn, they're stained, there might be a button missing or a zipper broke, or just initially they're worn out.
Yeah.
So they would come down here, get put into these bins. The bins would come over and get put into this baling machine and would come out to look like this bale back here that weighs anywhere between 800 to 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
Now, when we get, this is what we call salvage. These are salvageable soft lines.
Okay.
And they are hot on the resellable market for American goods.
Interesting.
Now, we're a little charity. We're at the bottom of the totem pole on this salvage market. And, but they offer us so many cents per pound. And so when we get 40 bales that look like this, we call a vendor or a company that comes here and picks those up.
Okay.
This is our food pantry area where they can get, our food insecure neighbors can get their dry goods, some desserts.
Oh, yeah.
And then they move over. They actually they check in with Miss Robin here, and they get a ticket, for lack of a better word, that tells us how many are in their family. It could be 2, it could be 10, you know.
Gotcha.
And then they drive around to the back, and they pick up a box of food. That includes refrigerated items like milk and dairy, eggs, that sort of thing, frozen, meats, chicken and pork are primarily what we get. We have a very strong partnership with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, and that is where we get the majority of our food from. We don't typically do, food drives, although we have started to incorporate them back in because of the scale at which we do things.
Yeah.
We are feeding 1,000 families a month.
Wow.
Out of this little room. Really.
This room. That's incredible.
1,080 to be exact for the month of November.
Wow.
If you
Full
want
household
the
served.
detailed numbers,
Yes.
You go.
Talk to
Robin
her.
is our
Robin has the
I love
and
it.
she pretty much knows their names by heart.
I do.
That's amazing.
She's wonderful.
So the total individuals served out of those families were 3,034.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Our big holiday event is our holiday food distribution, where we will give 1,200 families a box of food that has about 70 pounds of food in it. So hammer, turkey, they get a box of canned goods, green beans, corn, that kind of thing, and then a box of dry goods. It might include some dry, box of potatoes, that sort of thing, stuffing, that sort of thing. Produce box comes in that, produce bag. We have a bunch of sponsors for that. And that's 1,200 families that day. This building was built in 1903. It was formerly Lowry Electric. It was a supply company
Okay.
of some sort, like pieces
1903.
pieces and parts. We have the second oldest elevator in the city.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so we bought it in the late 90s. It was for sale for $400,000. We bought it for $100,000.
Oh, wow.
They
Dang.
had about $37 in the bank, is what I'm told. And they went to the bank and got a loan. We did about $600,000 in renovations. It was a capital campaign to retrofit the building for what we needed. However, this dining room wasn't done. And so this dining room was very much, it felt like the 1970s for a really long time. And it wasn't done until the mid-2000s. And several local contractors came together and helped us really retain the industrial feel, but also make it cozy, because we wanted to feel like a real dining area for our residents, to give them that level of dignity.
Yes.
And that's what we try to provide in every aspect of what we do. We do devotions in here every morning. So our residents that live upstairs in the Fresh Start program, it's our men's long-term work therapy program. They live here for about 9 to 12 months, a little bit longer sometimes, especially post-COVID. There's some issues going on at both of our shelters that are lengthening their stays a little bit. But every morning they're required to come downstairs in this room for what we call devotions. Sometimes we have guest ministers come in, but sometimes staff get to do devotions. Like every once in a while I get to do devotions. We have set people. And regardless of their faith, again, we serve any faith, but it is part of the program. This isn't just a come as you are kind of shelter. There are program requirements, and one of those is devotions at both of our this shelter and Saving Grace. And a lot of times we try to, depending on who's doing the devotion, it can be relatable to stress relief or coping.
Something that anybody
whether
can relate
anybody
to.
can relate to. Absolutely. So that's one of the pieces that I love about this place. It just is magical. I just love that we all get to come together at 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's in the room. There's roll call, and we start our day.
I love it.
I love it.